Welcome to the Grove Podcast, where we feature Evergreen members and their real-life stories of salvation, transformation, struggle, and hope. I'm Kaylee Carter, and today we have Channing Zhang with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, Kaylee, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Of course. So, Channing, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Evergreen, and where you serve.
Hi, I'm Channing. I'm an international student at the University of Tulsa, and I've been in the U.S. for 2.5 years, and I've been in Evergreen for 1 year and 3 months, I guess. And I accept Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior in October 2024, and I got baptized in November of the same year. Currently, I'm praying about where I can serve for my church. Well, I'm thinking about serve my Sunday school class first. So I will be helping with the check-in desk on Sunday morning.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So can you share with us a little bit about how you were raised and your family dynamics?
Sure. Well, I was raised in a family of teachers. Like both my parents, they are teachers, and my dad teaches high school chemistry, while my mom works in the position of administrative role. Sometimes she teaches as well. I would say both my parents, they're pretty traditional. And so the way how they raised me is also very conservative. They always taught me to be obeying the authority, following the rule, following the law. Mm-hmm. Like don't steal, don't hurt other people. That influenced my personality. I'm not gonna say I'm totally introverted or extroverted. I think that's something that encoded in my gene. I can be introverted if I'm not familiar with the situation where I was in. For example, if I walk into the classroom with a totally unfamiliar situation, I'm probably not going to introduce myself or talking to anyone. I will be just watching. But if I walk into the house full of my friends, I could be, 100% extroverted. I just, talk with people. But I would say that I think the very good lesson that my parents always teach me when I was little was be discerning. Control your mouth. Like if you don't know, just don't say anything. Which later I found out that this wisdom is in line with the Bible. So I think that's pretty critical to me. Mm-hmm. That's basically how I was raised, and from my parents.
Now, did your parents have any faith or belief of anything and that they taught you?
We really, really barely have like spiritual conversations. Growing up, I heard about people talking about faith. And I heard someone said the definition of faith online. This guy said, faith is something that you believe, but you cannot prove. Well, yeah, that's very impressive to me. First of all, I think, wow, that's a really good thing. But on the other hand, I don't really have faith. This is what my parents usually talk with me when we had conversation. It's mainly about like virtual, moral education. Like you should do this because this is good. You shouldn't do that because this is bad. Some people say the government, the authority is their faith. I couldn't understand that because, first of all, how could a government be a person's faith? Because I heard about the definition of faith. If you cannot prove something that you believe is good and you cannot prove, well, clearly the government is right there. That's not something like you cannot prove. There are humans right there. You can see if they're good or bad based on their actions. That's first of all. And the second is, the government is usually corrupting. Like they don't always do something good. That really confused me when I was a child, because if you say the government is your faith, if you see and you also see them do these things, like the bribe, the hypocritical, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. How could you view them as your faith? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was really confused about faith, and when I was little, first of all, I don't have a spiritual conversation with my parents, and I'm confused about the definition of faith. And the third is, I'm really curious, if can I live a life without faith? What if I don't have faith? I just want to live my life without work. So there's just three major questions I have since I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the challenges maybe that you had growing up and not having any faith and leading into maybe your middle school years and all of that?
Yeah, without having a faith, actually, really brought me some of the struggles since I grew up. I don't really have something to hold on to or something to give me help when I was facing challenges. First of all, I didn't think, in a kid's conscious, maybe he doesn't think about too much about, how serious that a faith means to me, right? I simply just wanted, listen to my parents, do well at school, and, just to get a good grade, no matter what I do. I play sports. I don't want to do my best. As long as I practice, I know I can make progress. That's something I want to do. But that's just not the whole thing. Sometimes I do struggle psychologically. For example, if I back then I didn't have a faith. So when I see some other kids, they outperform me. Like, oh, why they're like making progress so fast and way faster than me. And some of the kids, I saw them didn't even put efforts in their study, and they can get a pretty good grade, way better grade than me. It looks like, oh, they're so smart. What am I doing here? See, at that moment, I kind of, I was self-doubting, but I never questioned about who I am, and I never thought about, okay, what was I really good at? My focus was on other people. Like, oh, they're so good. They're so good at this. They're so good at that. I just want to do as good as they can. But I never think about myself. So that's the main struggles I have since I grew up.
Yeah. And was there pressure from your parents of performance or, doing well in school, and what was that like for them?
That's how I survived, I would say. I truly appreciate my parents because they didn't push me so hard. I would say a lot of struggles comes from my, inside of me, not from my parents, actually. My parents did a very good job that focus on the character, educating me to grow my character, not just do well at school. For example, I remember there was a time that after I get the grade, transcript from school, and I saw that the grade was terrible, and I was so afraid when I get back home. I feel ashamed to show this grade to my parents, to my mom, because my mom always disciplined me in everything. So I'm so afraid to show her the grade, but surprisingly, she didn't blame on me. She was kind of just take it easy. She took a look at it and said, all right, okay, let's. She didn't say anything, so we just keep going on. But I remember my mom would be really, really serious if I made mistake, like if I took something that doesn't belong to me. My mom will rebuke me so bad, and she's gonna have a conversation with me. I really talk about it. So, that's basically how I survive. For the things I feel shamed, for her that's okay. That's the internal thing. Like my focus was on other people, but for the things I feel I don't feel very shameful. Like, okay, it's okay to steal. It's okay to take someone's stuff, like eraser from someone's pencil box. Just I look like, oh, it looks good, and just take it. Then when my mom found that out, she's gonna take it so seriously. So I think my parents, they did a good job in educating me since I was little. When I don't have faith, my support, most of my support came from them. So that's why I feel so blessed. Yeah.
And what was your friendship looking like at this time in your life?
Friendship, I have a couple of friends when I was Yeah. Since I was in elementary school, through middle school, through high school, I always have one or two best, I would say, buddies, like be with me. I was kind of like the popular students in the class. But most of the time, you know how sick my heart is. I just want to spend time with the people I think they're cool. But I don't know a lot of other students that they actually like me, or we can say they actually love me. They want to talk with me. They want to hang out with me, or I can say they trust me. They want me. They believe me can do something.
And so was this kind of leading this class, was that more towards like high school age, or was that middle school?
Since the class had started to have really take on responsibility since they were from middle school. Where
You the class head for that same like cohort in a sense all throughout until graduation, or did that switch up?
probably gonna vote once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, we vote once a year.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you were selected as the class head in the first year, and most likely you'll be elected in the next
Gotcha.
2 to 3 years.
And was there a sense of like pressure at all because everyone was like looking to you to, lead them and guide them, or do you feel like you were pretty confident in that role?
Yeah, when I started getting familiar with that, I would feel confident. But at the very beginning, I always have a heart of serving everybody. Like you're new here, you're gonna sacrifice your time, take care of everybody. But when I start get used to it, I was at a position like it doesn't matter because I didn't see the result of serving other people. What can I get from it? You spend time serving other people. Now, see, they have their time to do their homework. That's real. They have their time to do homework. But what you need to do is to organize things, organizing the events. How can you spend your time in your study? And you start to notice that your grade is kind of falling behind,
Yeah. And so during high school, you got pretty involved with sports and as well as your studies and everything. And so tell us a little bit about that and that involvement.
The involvement in sports at high school. Yeah, I was a crazy basketball fan since I entered high school. And I became a very zealous fan of doing this, probably because we all grew up like big boys started, And during that time, I started to have, I'm the type of person, like if I love doing something, I will put efforts in, I try to do my best. And I wanted to be good at it. So I spent efforts in watching the sports and doing the research of, how, learning kind of different skills online. And during this time, I had my favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant, and he's still my favorite basketball player. And this guy really has a tremendous impact in my life because the reason is I started following this guy. I would say follow this guy. In my teenager time, that's the time that's the period of time when kids' brains start to shift. Because that's a period when the person started to transform from a little boy to a real adult. So I was influenced a lot by Kobe Bryant. I wasn't just watching this guy play on the court, but also his motivational speech. And I just noticed this guy's mentality is tough, and this guy's cool. And he's not that crazy as other players on the court. Like he's not yelling at people, but he's just cold and tough. And his training was, when I saw him training on the court, well, I was just want to be like that. I want to be like that in everything I do, because I know that's the key to success. I still remember, that video he said, what is it? Like, those time you stay up late, you work hard. And those time you get up early, you work hard. And those time you don't feel like you want to do it, but you do it anyway. And that's actually a dream. Well, I hold on to that vote for years since I was high school. I use the same mindset in my study. I use the same mindset in sports. Yeah, that helped.
Yeah. So at that time, there was someone who was influencing your drive for anything that you were doing. And so kind of shaping your character before you knew the Lord, right?
Before I knew the Lord. And I think actually that gave me some positive influence, but also some negative influence too. Because sometimes I will feel like, too locked in. And I don't like the people who are lazy. I don't like the people who are not doing the same thing as me. When I was in the class, I saw if someone was, goofing and they're not doing the work seriously, I would feel like a loser. But that's a very sick heart. It's not good. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so talk about your transition to college and what college life was like for you and what you were studying.
Yeah, college life. Well, I was fortunate. I feel blessed that sometimes I struggle psychologically, during the high school study because it was super competitive. But I made it to college and I chose the major. Is engineer-related major. It's called electrical engineering. The reason I chose that is because it has a better job market in the future. And also, that's not my choice. I'm not going to say, okay, I love it, so I chose it. It's because my parents chose it for me, and they asked a lot of friends, and they said, okay, which major is better? Like, okay, electrical engineering. After that, you went to college, you studied for 4 years after that, you graduated, and you can find a job. Easier for you to find a job. You can either do something about programming or hardware stuff. But yeah, that's how I chose my major. But when I entered the college, that's a totally different world for me. First of all, that's the first time I live a life that without the care from my parents. There's no apartment provided on campus. So you will live in the dormitory and you will share a room with 3 other people. Well, that involves another issue to me I have to learn how to coexist with the people who has different habits as me. Let's say, okay, they don't like sports and they just play video games all the day. Some people stay up late. Some people don't even go to the class. Don't even go to the class. Like, I have to learn how to coexist with them. For the people who don't even go to the class, that kind of influenced me because I saw their laziness and I live with them all the time. That influenced my mindset. For the people who play video games, that influenced me too because that makes me want to play video games. So there's a lot of distractions, but I still try to do my best at school. I want to get a good grade and I have to learn how to interact with people. But yeah, in the end, here's the key. I try to do my best at school and deal with my social interactions. What I find out is I didn't have a very good relationship with any of them, like share the same space with me, like my roommates. I don't have a very close relationship with them. This is the first point. The second point is my grade wasn't good, even though I did my best. So during that time, I was kind of self-doubting, like, what do I actually should do? Like, what was I actually good at? Am I the person who just be like this? Well, can never achieve excellence. So a lot of struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now during this time, you had met a couple of missionaries. Is that right? Can you talk about that?
Yes. Absolutely. This is something I really want to share because this period of life, I think that's Lord's blessing when I didn't realize. Because this experience helps me to find out another side of my heart, like something I'm really good at, but I just never pay attention to, and that's something would never reflect on the paper, like a grade, something that would never reflect. But yeah, this this is some American friends. We met and we became friends. And we just had a very good time together. And I felt truly comfortable staying with them because that friendship was just pure friendship. Mm-hmm. It was love that bonds us together. Mm. That's a totally different feeling when I had, even with the people who share the same space with me. Mm-hmm. That's so different. Yeah. We live so close, but our heart is so far from each other. Mm-hmm. But with the American friends, even though we just met and we may just became friends for a month or a weeks, but every time we meet, I feel like, oh, our heart is so close. Mm-hmm. I want to share everything with you. I just want to be honest with you. When I was staying with my roommates, I'm afraid to be 100% honest. Mm. So that's a totally different feeling. Mm-hmm. But I do want to share how I meet with this group of friends. Mm-hmm. I have two group of friends. I met with them in a different period of time. So the first friend I met is Matt. His name is Matt. He's from Minnesota. And, his eyes just, first of all, this is a big difference. When Americans look at you, you will have eye contact. Mm-hmm. So his eyes are so genuine, mm-hmm. and he was happy too. Mm-hmm. It's something like, oh, this guy came up and say hi to me. Okay, let me get to know about you. Oh, what's her name? I said, okay, and I just told him my name, and we just hit it off. Because this guy I feel like he was also easygoing. Mm-hmm. So the first time we met, we went on a walk and just kind of introduced ourselves. After then, we shared the contact. So we kind of just, ask for next time when we're gonna have lunch together. We probably can meet. We can meet again, or we can hang out, play basketball. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the very early stage when we interact with each other. And then after 3 or 4 times that hanging out, to be honest, I know he has something for me. Mm-hmm. I know that's not gonna just be chit chat, play sports. Mm-hmm. There could be something serious behind it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, why this guy try to get to know you, spend time with you? So I wasn't so surprised that the first time he pulled out a Bible when we had lunch together, he wanted me to read it, like to see if I do you know about Jesus, or are you interested? You try to read Bible. Mm-hmm. He wanted to introduce this to me, but I didn't reject that because I see him as a good friend of mine. If I read Bible, this is how I view it. I would say, okay, my good friend, I would love to know you. I will read. Yeah, I wanted to know about you. Mm. I never think about if that's something also related to me. Mm. So I read it. God, it was first time I remember it was mind blowing because I cannot understand what that means. Mm-hmm. Back to the conversation at the beginning, because we never had spiritual conversations. Mm-hmm. When you bring up some words like righteousness or Father or the Son, even the names in the Bible mm-hmm. are so unfamiliar to me. So I didn't really consistently read it, but I'll read a little bit every time. Mm-hmm. So next time when I meet him, I at least I have something to give him the feedback so he won't feel so bad about it. Mm-hmm. But he noticed that I wasn't so interested. Or he noticed I couldn't understand what does Bible actually about. So after that, he showed me a movie. He invited me to watch a movie with him together in the library. I said, okay. And we would just be there to show my respect toward him. Mm-hmm. So I watched that movie. Mind blowing again. The name of the movie is The Passion of Christ, mm-hmm. which I find out later.
Solid choice.
Yeah, which I literally find out in October 2025. Mm. After 1 year, I was baptized and I found out the name.
Oh, okay. You didn't know the name to begin with, but okay.
Yeah.
So have you watched it since then?
No, because I don't know the name.
The Passion of the Christ?
Yeah, and I just accidentally found it on YouTube.
Okay.
I was just looked so familiar and just clicked it. And then I searched the name as a Passion of Christ. Oh, this is the first movie I've watched in the beginning. So yeah, it was so scary and this guy was tortured. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feel so deeply connected with, that I think that's normal. Like I didn't feel so deeply connected with Jesus, like this man in the screen, but I saw some very, very valuable characters from him. Like I know he was sacrificing with everybody. He's taking the burden on his own shoulder. Like he was willing to die. And well, these are the good virtues like my parents taught me since I was little. So I buy into that. So I kind of have some, good impression about my friends. Like, oh, they value this. This is something I value too. Like, yeah, we can be good friends. Let's keep being like this.
And so were you able to ask your friends some questions that you had about not understanding things, or were you just kind of going with the flow?
Just going with the flow.
Okay.
You know why? First of all, too many questions. When you have too many questions, you're
overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. You actually don't even ask. That's the first. And second is the social pressure. See, none of my friends and none of my families are practicing some religion, or none of my friends or families are Christians, or I never heard about share about their story with Christians. So another side is the social pressure that kind of hindered me from like pull my heart out, really want to understand Jesus, because the social pressures right there that kind of hindered me from really wanting to be serious about this. The social pressure comes from your peers, like your classmates, your friends, your families. Think about that. You alone be a totally different person. Like your worldview is different from them. How can you deal with that? How can you live a life with that? This is the first. And the second is, I was just entered the college. So yeah, I wanted to do good. I was dreaming about a good life. And that's why later when they invited me to the church, like, okay, it's okay to, we can have individual one-on-one time. Like you put out a Bible, we can go through it, or we can watch a movie together in the library, but just you and me. But if you invited me to the church, like with the whole congregation, I was denying. But I just kind of give an excuse of, oh, I'm too busy at school, probably don't have time. I remember I kind of reject for 3 or 4 times. He just gave it up.
So you denied Matt for the rest of your college years.
Sometimes we do meet with each other, but it was just say hi and hey.
What led you to come to Oklahoma?
One of the huge motivation is actually because of the second friend I met.
Okay.
Yeah. Back in 2019, right before COVID. Thank God. They made back home right before COVID comes out. And that was a great time. In the last 2 months of 2019, I met with this group of friends. We celebrate? Can I say that? Like we spend time during Halloween. We actually really dressed up. Like we have some costume.
What were you?
Captain America.
Right on.
Yeah,
good. Classic.
Yes. Not really good. But that's my first time, just want to try something good.
Yes.
Yeah. Later than that, I want to be something funny,
Was being Captain America what inspired you to come to America? Okay.
No, actually, this because of friends.
Okay.
His name is Chase, and he's in Kansas City right now. We sometimes still talk with each other. Yeah, he's a good friend. There was a time we had dinner together, me, Chase, and two Nicks. Like, yeah, there are a lot of overlap names, but
Double Nicks,
and Chase. We had dinner together. Well, I was so curious, like, oh, are you guys Christians? Because I was so serious. I was so curious because they're seriously curious. They're so nice, so genuine, so kind, and I feel like same feeling. Every time we stay together, I feel like, oh, our heart is so close. you don't want to share about your faith with me because I had some experience about that. I can share that with you. I said, yeah, they're Christians. And they didn't introduce too much about want me to believe in Jesus or not. So most of the time I was asking the question. So I asked them, okay, back then I had no idea about mission trip. So I didn't ask them, oh, were you guys on the mission trip or not? No, I didn't ask this question, but I did ask like, oh, so I have some of my friends, they invited me to the church. I don't know what you guys can do at church. Because that is the reason I started drift apart with Matt. So I kind of asked them, okay, what you guys can do at church? They said, oh, at church we pray, we can talk with God. Wow, talk with God. Through how? As they said, through prayer. You can pray and you can hear him, you can talk with him. Okay, I remember that. And because of that, sometimes I did pray by myself. That's unqualified prayer. But sometimes I just try. When I was facing struggles, when pressures came, you wanted to see, oh, if God really works, if God is really there. So you just, please God, help me with this. That was unqualified prayer. When I'm not gonna, the prayer is not going to be about, okay, how I will trust in God or obey God. It's all about, okay, God, help me with this. Or if this is the right choice, just prove.
Do this for me.
Do this.
On the checklist.
Yeah. But since then, I did pray sometime by myself. And the most amazing part is they shared their testimony with me. Like, oh, how did God transform them? How did they change from a person to another person? How terrible they were used to be, how miserable their life used to be, and now how joyful they are, and how content they are right now. It was just, people be incredibly honest to me, and I take it as a value of myself. I'm so proud of myself because people believe in me. I said, oh, I gotta keep these secrets for you, because there are some friends, they have a very miserable childhood, and they carry that shame until they met Jesus, and now they no longer have that shame. So that was really amazing. Yeah,
it's incredible that you had two separate experiences with Christians, and you were able to see the difference in their life and in their heart just by being with them. And so yes, talk about moving to Oklahoma.
Yeah. So yeah, the second, actually, I wasn't intentionally looking for this area, but since I was here to study, so I have to search in the information online, like to see do research about the university in the United States, which professor I can follow, which university I can go. So I kind of have a list over there, but it sounds, feels like God's plan. When I had the interview with my current advisor, and she was so genuine, so honest, and just expose every detail of the information to me, and I feel so comfortable talking with her, and I trust in her too. So she is that to you. So when I see, such a nice professor, faithful professor, and also, wow, the university is also close to my friends live, like Kansas City. I said, wow, awesome. I'm gonna be there no matter what. So I didn't consider too much. So I just chose this school. And after that, I landed here. Surprisingly, the procedure, the process of applying visa goes super smooth. There's no too much, inspection on me, like inspection, like they're gonna check your background. No, I didn't go through that. It's only take like 20 days for they to issue my visa, so I'm able to be here. But since I wasn't a believer at the first year when I was here, so I was in the new country, new world. I have no friends here, so I gotta go out and make some friends. But my first purpose is not seeking God. It's not seeking, okay, okay, the Christian life is the life I want to live. I immediately go to the church. No, that's not something I want to do. Something I want to do is to make more friends as much as possible and hang out and just go crazy to experience American life, you know, to experience the things I used to see on the screen, on the movie. You know, we're going to do that. But after the whole year, but actually I didn't do that too much. First of all, I was still getting used to everything. Your language is a barrier. If you want to live a life like in the movie, you need to have the capacity, ability to interact with people like that. You don't have the ability so far. And the second is, I'm at school. Like I have to study. Like I also need to study. I don't have too much time to go crazy. But I did have some parties with all kinds of friends. And I was still drinking a little bit. I was drinking. I was going crazy. I don't even know who they are. Like all those friends. I don't know. I don't have an intentional purpose of why I'm making friends with all those people. Probably just want to hang out, have fun, you know. And when they have a party, they will probably give me a call and have me coming over. But that's the first year. Party, travel. I travel to different cities, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. You know, that's all. Some fancy places. New York City, Boston. Boston's good. DC, Philadelphia. Yeah, a lot of cities. But just being a traveler, just to see anything.
Exploring.
But yeah, there's no connection. Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Taking good pictures, you know, show off in your social media. Well, getting some likes, you know, increase your dopamine level, feel good. But after 1 year, during this time, I actually signed up a program launched by ISM called American Family Fellowship. So even though I was doing this crazy thing during the first year, but I did sign up this program and I got connected with one of the American families, which is Mark's family. So that's also, we're going to talk about that later. That's also how I got connected with Mark, but I only had dinner once with Mark and Jam. That's the experience within the first year, because I wasn't seeking God, and I see Christians, and I wasn't honest to share my experience, but I know they're good people, they're nice people. I just want to be there. I just want to hang out. Yeah, I never thought about, that will be part of my life too. Well, but after the whole year of roller coaster experience, like parties, travels, and then the first summer I was going through, it was like everybody was gone on campus. I don't know if this is is a very common thing for human beings. Like when everybody's gone, when you were in a very quiet situation, you start to have more time to meet with yourself and start to have more time to reflect your life. Like what are you looking for? What type of life you wanted to live? And you just start to find your purpose. You don't want to live a chaotic life. Like, just increase the, looking for the short excitement, just increase the dopamine level to feel like you're alive. Are you actually alive? Are you actually living a life? Obvious not. I wasn't. And I started looking for helpful information online to see how to live a purpose life. Well, one of the very, very key, very important thing in your life is you need to have bonding and real relationship. So when I'm looking at my life, I don't actually have that. Like I don't have any bonding and real relationship like I used to have. I miss that. So at that moment, Mark came into my mind. Like I want to build meaningful, real, and bonding relationship with real people.
Yeah.
Not, people come and people go. I don't want that.
And for those who may be listening that don't know who you're talking about, who exactly is Mark?
Oh, Mark Shoemaker.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the member in Evergreen.
Okay.
He's probably be here for 10 years. I don't really know, but he's been here for a long time. Yeah.
Okay, so he kind of came to mind during this time, and what happened from there?
So yeah, I think God helped me again at this moment, because my heart was literally crying. Like, wow, there's no friend. After a whole year, you feel like you're living life. You think you are making progress, but you're actually not. You got nothing here. Looking for some real people to build up real like connections. So yeah, like Mark came into my mind, and I just tell myself, I determined at that moment, I said, if Mark invited me to have dinner again, I will go. I will be there and share my experience, and to be 100% honest. Because the first year, even though I only had dinner once with Mark, he actually later invited me for a couple of times, but I feel like I just rejected. Like I was so busy. But, at that moment, I said, oh, okay, if Mark invited me again, I will be there and be honest. I will share my story. I need to ask for some help, like truly, really get to know about Christianity. But I haven't made my decision yet. I just wanted to build up. I know he's a real friend. He's going to be a real friend. So I said, I will looking for him. I will start to hang out with him more. Yeah, that's how I got to know him.
Okay.
That first year.
And so from there, he reached out to you, and then did you go, and what was that experience like?
Well, that's amazing. He invited me, and I was there, and I started to share my experience with Christianity, and he was so excited. Like, oh, so you did heard about Jesus? I said, yeah. Well, he didn't blame on me so much, but he was so happy, and he was so surprised. He immediately find a Mandarin version Bible for me. So he thought that would be easier for me to read. So yeah, I took the Bible and I really started to read. The first book I read is Gospel of Matthew. The reason I remember that is because recently I started read Matthew, and we know the first chapter is the genealogy of Jesus Christ, and that brought me back to 1 year ago when first time I read Mandarin version of Book of Matthew. A lot of names, like what is going on? And this guy gave birth to that guy. That guy fathered this guy. Like what is it talking about? And come to Jesus, and then talk about the story. Okay, Joseph have to go to Egypt, and they're gonna hide in different places, which really doesn't make sense to me. But I hold on to it. I really, because I respect. I've already made my decision. Like, oh, I'm gonna know about Mark. I'm gonna read the Bible. So yeah, I read it, and some of it was an amazing story though. However, we have the stories of 5,000 were fed, and the food is coming out of heaven. It feels so unreal. And Jesus healed the blind, healed the paralyzed. Well, how can I believe in this? Because I've seen this type of story on TV. Like, people just make up a story and a movie. Someone has magic. They just do something like that. How can I believe in this story? Why this one is true? Well, I guess there are a lot of reasons. First, I didn't know this history. I didn't know the historical figure of Jesus. It's actually a real historical figure in the history. During the time when Romans were ruled over Jerusalem. Yeah, they're real historical figures. And I don't know about Old Testament. I don't know the history of Jewish people. All kinds of the story. That was the gap. If I entered with the right context, after that, it's going to be easier for me to accept everything. So there was a time that we had Bible study together, and Mark was checking on me, like he kind of cared about me. He wanted to check on me. Do I really believe in the Bible, or do I really understand? He noticed me. I wasn't. So it's like I'm unfaithful to this. Like I don't believe that. And he started to throw out some questions to challenge what's in my mind. Like he asked me about, okay, have you ever think about where we come from? Or have you ever think about where we come from? Or if you think about we come from Big Bang, have you did research about that? Like done any research about Big Bang theory? And yeah. Also, natural selection. If we select, there's something must exist before. If it doesn't exist, how can you select? Like, let's say the library, like genetic library. If you don't exist, the genetic thing doesn't exist before. How can you select from the library? So while that kind of shifted in my mind, I was like, well, that's too much stuff. I didn't do research, so I gotta, yeah. Big Bang theory is not faithful. Like, how come? Well, at the same time, I started read English version of Bible, and I follow his advice of, daily reading. I started read Proverbs, and I started to read one chapter of Proverb and one chapter of whatever I was in the New Testament. So, yeah. And I read and I practice. That's when real things start to happen. Like real change start to happen in my life, in my mind, in my personality, in my character. I start to feel more and more peace within my heart. I started handling everything, pretty well. I found myself no longer have too much temper. For example, it's hard to control our mouth. It's hard to control our temper. Sometimes we just lose our patience. But as I'm reading the scriptures in the Bible, as I'm reading Proverbs, practicing, and I read the scriptures in the New Testament when Paul teaches the relationships between spirit and flesh, I just start to see different things. Like every time when I have some, negative emotions or negative feelings, I know that's my flesh. When I feel impatient or something, I know that's my flesh. So, that was the first time I started to have the concept of flesh and spirit. And I know where the negative thing comes from, and I know how to handle it. And I think that's where the peace comes from. And my spirit is following God, is obeying God. I know the result will turn out to be good. So I just, the less negative things in my life kind of show up. So.
And at what point did you fully accept Christ?
Accept Christ is it's during this time. Like I feel the real change in my life. Yeah. That's the first time I feel like grow up. Can you believe in that? Like I was 26. I was 26. No, I was 25. But that's the first time I feel like I grew up. Because the first time I feel like I'm controlling my life. Not my controlling my life, like I'm really handling my life properly. I'm, handling everything and the challenge I encountered with in my life. I saw a big change, a huge change in my life. I feel like I have more maturity. I feel like, oh, that's a man should looks like. That's not a boy anymore. And I started, the word, and my heart is getting closer with God every single day. Man, this is real.
Yeah. True life change.
Yeah, true life change. Yeah, this is real. Like, I don't have to force myself to do all these things. I wanted to be like this. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And you got to experience what you had witnessed from your friends who were Christians. And so you got to be on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And so what was that like?
Like, yeah, that's something I'm really thankful for. Because every time when I look back, I know God didn't leave me. He never left me.
Yeah.
He's like planting that seed and just guide me step by step into this point and help me find him. I still cannot believe, wow, I'm truly living this life now. Like this is real life. this is a real human being life. Other than that, think about that. Like, if you don't live a life that God has prepared for you or has planned for you, if you don't follow Him, how can you illustrate your spirit? Like, you're basically just following your flesh. Like, you just do whatever you feel good. If something goes wrong, you just let emotion come out. Oh, well, if I let my emotion come out, I feel good. That's why I do it. But the true peace and contentment is from obeying God. Like, something goes wrong and you pray, you say, it's okay. God is overseeing everything. That's a little trial. Like, He's preparing you for a better version of yourself. And that is a true peace comes from. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
And did you have any idea about what discipleship looked like? And did you see that that's kind of what was happening between you and Mark?
Me and Mark, we were like not just teacher and student, like not just discipler and disciple. And also we're very good friends as well. Like, he's literally a good friend of mine. You know, we share life. You know, the only difference is we're not like young friends together. Sometimes we chit chat, we make jokes. But the way how I stay with Mark is more serious. Like, we more like Proverbs. Iron sharpens iron. Like, one man sharpens another.
Yeah.
So serious, but not with a frown face. So serious. We
Sure.
encourage each other. Like, we encourage each other. I encourage Mark as well. He encourages me. You know, he show what the follower of Christ really looks like. He encourages me. He just not only just help me understand scriptures, but he also live his life in this way to show me what it feels like. What is that? Wow. And he cared about me. He asked about my life. Like, oh, how's your study going? How is, everything goes with you in your life? And I asked him too, like, how's your family?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's your kids? I feel like, he was living at his 20s. I was living at my 80s. How amazing is that? Like, you can just, now you feel like you have the wisdom of being 80 years old.
Yeah. The beauty of being able to do life with someone and have that encouragement in the faith and grow you from a baby believer, right? To now, but also that friendship that comes from it.
Yeah. And I think that seriousness, like, because we are both, our character are very alike. We're both disciplined. That's too much credit for myself, but he's very disciplined. But I'm really serious. So I really studied the scripture, and I chew on it. I meditate on it, and every time he has like some of the questions for me, I would just meditate on it, and I just really write down my answer, how my thought is, and I do research on it. I just really dive deep into it.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason how I can grow, kind of fast. But I know that to be a real strong Christian, it needs time, years of time for you to practice in your life. You need to go through struggles, go through, all of the unexpected situation you haven't seen, but only thing you need is to practice your faith in God. Like, no matter what happens, God is watching over me.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who is listening that maybe doesn't have that discipleship relationship? Like, what encouragement, advice, or like resources could you give them to seek that relationship out?
Yeah. For me, for my experience, I have two disciplers. I meet with Daniel Schlegel as well, like every Friday. He's almost at my age, around my age. So we are kind of close.
Yeah.
We can share life that we are both going through right now. So that's another type of way how we encourage with each other. But on the other hand, I have a more mature discipler, which is Mark. And he has years of experience of how to be a faithful Christian. So he gives me a lot of wisdom. He's more like a leader. Like he's leading me. When I spend time with him, more likely I'll be a listener. And he's gonna be a teacher, like for me. Like he's gonna teach and show me, help me understand. But when I stay with Daniel, also I will be a listener, but I will have more time to have, bi-directional conversation with Daniel. And that's I think that's a very good chance for me to output what I have learned, not just be inputting the knowledge from the Bible. Yeah. So my advice is, if you want to find a discipler, you probably need someone have beyond your age, like older than you for 10 years experience more than you, or 20 years experience more than you. Because I think they can give you sound wisdom because they've been through that phase ahead of you. So have that first. I think that's something you should looking for at the first point. And the second is, you can either, after you having that, you can either choose, a person who's around your age. It can be your friend. It can literally be your friend. You can meet once a week to share about what you learned and then share your thoughts with each other. You learn what input into your mind, and then you output with a friend, you practice. And through this process, you kind of accumulate the real treasure, the real knowledge within your head. So
that's good.
Yeah.
And so one final question for you. What are some things that the Lord is teaching you right now?
Very simple. Actually, very simple. I thought a lot about this, but very simple is obey him. Because challenges are always there, like unexpected. I'm not expecting, okay, today is going to be good, or I'm not going to estimate my day to be good or bad because I didn't work something out, or okay, I met a friend, he's not in a good mood, today's bad for me. No, today's always be good because I obey him. I did everything that he commanded me, and I react to whatever happens in a way that he commanded me to do. He required me to do, to glorify him. And every day could be a successful day.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Channing, for sharing your story today and being on the podcast. We appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you would like more information about our church, please visit our website at evergreenbc.org.